Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, all I ask from you is reasonable doubt. In the face of missing or conflicting evidence and uncertainty surrounding many aspects of the navigator's life, we have to ask, who was the man known as Columbus? You be the judge. As mentioned in the previous video, one of his sons wrote in La Historia de Don Fernando Colón that he had doubts about his famous father's true origins. If even his own son cast doubt on what was said at the time about Colón, we have reason to believe something fishy was going on. Either Fernando knew the truth and deliberately covered it up, or he genuinely didn't know, which begs the question, why so much secrecy? Why would such a notable man hide his past, even from his own family? To answer this question, the most relevant theories are the Genoese theory, the Jewish theory, and the Portuguese theory. They are presented in alphabetical order, and since all are speculative until proven, they hold equal weight. Let's start with the Genoese theory. It's the most widely accepted explanation, though increasingly questioned as more people investigate. This theory claims that Columbus came from a Genoese family of weavers. Cristofero Colombo didn't know how to read or write until he arrived in Portugal, apparently and supposedly swam 14 kilometers to shore after his ship sunk. Believe it or not, from an illiterate son of a weaver, he somehow learned Portuguese, Latin, Greek and Hebrew, cartography, astronomy and all the skills necessary to navigate the open ocean. Though there is no record of the great deeds he must have accomplished in order to move up in the social scale, Columbus managed to rise meteorically and marry into Portuguese nobility. Even more astonishing, he seems to be admitted into the most exclusive, members-only club of the time, the Order of Christ, the successor to the Knights Templar, and holder of ancient secrets and the driving force behind Portugal's secretive oceanic explorations. Knowing at the time that Portugal's goal was to find a route to the eastern spice trade by sailing around Africa, which they had achieved up to the Cape of Good Hope, Columbus decides to convince the King of Portugal, John II, to skip the remaining half of the venture and go west instead. As that change of plan made perfect sense, the king eagerly accepted. Just kidding. Columbus didn't succeed, so he moved to Portugal's rival Castile and offered the same proposal to the Catholic kings. And after several years of persistence, they ended up funding his voyage to reach Asia by sailing west, only for Columbus to get lost on the way and arrive in the New World instead, something he never admitted, and the rest is history. At this point, it should be noted that a Genovese native was deliberately instigating and leading a foreign nation to find an alternative route to the rich spice trade of the East. In doing so, Columbus dealt a serious blow to his native Genoa, which, along with Venice, was one of the few intermediaries with access to the lucrative Eastern spice trade monopoly controlled by the Ottomans. So not only did Columbus betray his homeland, but he also betrayed the Kingdom of Portugal by taking classified information out of the country and giving it to a rival power, an act punishable by execution. Yet, after his return from his first voyage, the first person he met was the Portuguese king, a man said to have killed his own brother-in-law for treason. But Columbus was allowed to leave without consequence. I'll leave it at that. In conclusion, there's a lot we don't know about this man, and much of what we do know doesn't add up. We are led to believe that despite all his accomplishments, fame and fortune, he couldn't shake his humble origins, so he felt compelled to hide them. At least that's what the Genovese theory speculates as a possible explanation to the navigator's evasiveness and his son's uncertainty. I'll see you in the next video, The Jewish Theory. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.